everybody. Nice to be together again. Let's start the exploration and remembering our teachers and the teacher of all of them, the Buddha. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
So today we are going to start a new chapter, which is very exciting. And we're going to look at feelings, roots, and if we have enough time, then we'll look at the functions, which are very interesting because it includes rebirth and other things that we are going to look at today. So let's start. Welcome to chapter 3. So we have officially finished chapter 2. And so today we're starting chapter 3. Now in chapter 3, as we have seen before, that there's just a very short table of content. We're going to look at the analysis of cittas by way of, first section by way of vedanā, by way of feeling, then by way of hetu, by way of roots, kicca, functions, dvara, doors, aramana, objects, and hetu, basis. So we are going to first start with vedanā now. So vedanā is not something new. In cittas we have already seen about vedanas. So vedanā, mental feeling itself, the definition, again we have to repeat, it is the experiencing the flavor of the object. Yes, so it is only when consciousness, any kind of consciousness, get in contact with the object, so how it experiences it, depending on the object. So later we will also go into details, but it does not have to do with whether I like. Yes, it has to do with some kind of cittas, that whether I like it or don't like it, could be dosa or could be lobha, then it has to do. But some kinds of cittas, say for example eye consciousness, which is a resultant consciousness, so that kind of, let's say non-active cittas, that we don't really actively do something, no, because they are results already, so we have nothing to do with about the result, because it's already something we've done in the past. And what is happening, the result, this kind of consciousness, which is resultant consciousness, also have feeling. So it also have mental feeling. Remember, then feeling, vedanā is a universal cettasika, so it associates with all kinds of cittas, no? So it is how, just simply how the citta experience the flavor of the object with vedanā. Yes? So remember, we have talked about that we have
Pleasant.
pleasant, somanasa, pleasant, and then we have
Unpleasant.
unpleasant, domanasa, and then we have neutral, upekkha, yes? So these three types of feelings that we have already talked about, but we have also seen two other types of mental feelings, remember? Which is sukha, pleasant body feeling, which is also actually mental feeling, but it is experienced by the citta through the body consciousness, yes? Like when we experience a pleasant feeling, then the mind feels pleasant about it. So it's pleasant mental feeling through the body, no? Through body feeling, through touch. And the other one is dukkha, bodily pain. So it's mental feeling through the body touch. Yes.
Body pain.
Body pain. Yes. So now here we have 5 types of vedanas. Now in the suttas, sometimes or in different places, the Buddha explained vedanā to be of 5 kinds, 3 kinds, 2 kinds, and 1 types.
Okay.
And 1 type, yeah. So 5 types we have already seen, yes. In Abhidhamma it is explained clearly. Somanasa, mental, purely mental, and then sukha, domanasa, dukkha, and upekkha, yes, 5 types. And the 3 types, let's see what happens in the 3 types. When the Buddha mentioned 3 types, it is actually somanasa and sukha, so pleasant mental feeling and pleasant body feeling, is together. How do you say it? It's
A combo.
yes, it's in a group. It is together being called sukha. So if you see that.
Mental and physical pleasure.
So if you see only some suttas or some places that mentions only three kinds of mental feeling, three kinds of vedanā, three kinds of feeling, then the sukha here we have to understand that it includes somanassa and sukha, both. Not only body or not only mind, because otherwise we will say, somanassa is not included or their mind is not included, but yes, it is included if it is only mentioned three. Yes?
This is why, without knowing Abhidhamma, when one goes to study the suttas, we can get very easily confused because we don't know the ultimate reality. So it says sukha, and then we know sukha is body, and then all the misinterpretations about the scriptures become present because we are not knowing all this information that is actually when the Buddha, he didn't have all the, every time that he was talking to someone, had the time to explain all the details of all the things. So it's very important to know this, how the Buddha sometimes grouped the things and how sometimes separated on each.
See, especially in sutta, because the Buddha explained according to the person that he is talking to. Yes? In Abhidhamma, he explained ultimate reality. That's why he separated everything in details. Yes? And so in suttas, say for example, the Buddha is talking to a specific person. So if this person, for him, is easier to understand in this way, so the Buddha will explain in that way, or what that person needs. So that's why sometimes he say three types, sometimes he say two types, sometimes he say one type. But supposedly the person he understood in this way. Yes, so he must. So we must also, depending on content, understand what the Buddha wants to mean. So here, in this case, three types of vedanā, then somanassa and sukha is included in one, and domanassa and dukkha is also included in one. So in the three types of feelings, then we have sukha, dukkha, and upekkha. There's so many times you will see. Most of the time, it is usually described as three types: sukha, dukkha, and upekkha. In Abhidhamma, it's more separated in details. That's why we have like five. But usually it's three. So when you see that it is three, sukha, dukkha, and upekkha, just remember that somanassa and domanassa are also included. Yes? Okay, now let's go to two types then. Then how is it two types then? Sometimes the Buddha said, monks, there are only two feelings, two mental feelings. So in this case, upekkha is also included in sukha. Because neutral feeling is not painful, no? It's not dukkha, no? So neutral is already good. Yes, neutral is good. So in this case, the Buddha included sukha. When he says sukha, that means somanassa, sukha, body, mental pleasant feeling due to body touch, and also upekkha. When you see suttas that mentions two vedanā, then we understand that sukha includes three, includes also upekkha, and dukkha is the same. Yes?
We must include in context when there are sometimes among Buddhists heated discussions about, no, the Buddha was saying this, look, it said two, no, it said three, and as long as human mind is involved, a problem. But we forget that who knows the individual that the Buddha was talking. If he knew already all this, then the Buddha would say just two. If he could be talking to a monk that was experienced, or he could be talking to someone who is just new to the teaching, then the Buddha needed to give some differences. So it's very important also to know the historical context, who was the Buddha teaching at that moment, and so all these discussions become, and knowing all these possibilities just by now, you will see that in the future, if we go to the suttas, it will be much easier because sometimes he says two, sometimes he says three, sometimes he says five, and the same thing happens with many things, not just vedanā.
Yes, so actually in the suttas, sometimes there are even 30 some vedanas. But don't think that the suttas is like contradictory. Why sometimes one, sometimes two, sometimes three, sometimes five? But it's just because of the explanation, as Bhante said. It is sometimes in groups, but we have to understand it in ultimate reality, what it actually means and what it contains.
It's the precision of the lens that the Buddha was talking at that moment. He was just looking with the eyes, or with a lupa, how you say, magnifying glass, or with the microscope.
Yes. Say for example, there are suttas that explain, I don't remember exactly the number, like 30 some kinds of vedanas, but actually what is it? Why so much? No, actually it's the same. Somanasa, actually it's based on these five. You know these five, there is no problem. Because why there is become so many? Because the Buddha explained it to that particular person, that pleasant mental feeling due to eye consciousness, due to sight, let's say. Then pleasant mental feeling due to sound, pleasant mental feeling due to smell, pleasant mental feeling due to taste. So pleasant mental feeling due to
or thoughts.
Yeah, let's say. Oh, so there's already five. So multiply them, and so that's why it becomes so many. So basically, if you know these five, then there is no problem. Yeah. So sometimes if it is mentioned 3 or 2, then you understand, oh, in case of 2, that means that this is included. No? Okay. So now we understand 2. Now how about 1? Then the Buddha also said there is only one type of vedanā. All conditioned phenomena are dukkha.
Everything.
As the other video that
yes, like Seattle explained.
Pleasant and unpleasant
yes.
is.
That he said that even sukha is dukkha.
Yes.
Yes, because it's gonna end. It's gonna change. Even beautiful, we are there, and then it ends. Well, don't go home.
Yes. So at the end, everything is all conditioned things. No, not everything. No, everything that has condition, that has arising and passing away. The Buddha said it is dukkha. In its nature, no. So the last time, before we, for Fernando, that he might not have received the link. Later, I will send again in the video. So because last time we talked about dukkha, and we sent the link of Seattle Usilananda's explanation, which is very good. Later on, I will send again the link. So if you're interested, well, actually he knows already because he published those videos also in his group. So. Okay, so anyway, so in this case, when it is one type of vedanā, that means dukkha. Everything is dukkha. Now,
Boring.
whatever it may be, but in this case, this dukkha
is uncontrollable.
Is
whatever is
unsatisfactoriness. No?
Whatever is not possible to be controlled or everlasting, you will end up in being a kind of suffering, because you will be taking out of the person.
Yeah.
And what will be out of that term?
So what is not included? Let's say nibbana, because it is unconditioned.
Nibbana is
it's
the
out of mind
unconditioned.
and out of matter, and it does not arise and pass away.
Just nibbana.
Yes, basically just nibbana.
Yes. Whatever is conditioned in the world, which is everything that we know, since if we don't know nibbana yet, everything that we have ever known is conditioned. Therefore, it will pass away, it will change, it will be impermanent, uncontrollable, and it will be just flowing.
Anicca, dukkha, and
Anicca, dukkha, and non-self.
Okay.
But it's fine, it's also, it's cool.
Yes. As dukkha is also a very interesting theme, because when we really understand dukkha, then it is a great understanding. Our teacher, Seattle Tejaniya, he says, like many people sometimes he said, dukkha, 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 no? And then dukkha. And then Seattle said, when you really understand dukkha, you don't feel suffering at all. You feel freedom. When you really understand. So if we feel like painful dukkha, dukkha, that means we haven't understood it in its totality. Yes, how it is. Okay, anyway, about dukkha, let's explore a little bit more.
The power of understanding, no? Imagine you feel dukkha, but there is no dukkha.
Through understand dukkha, one feels freedom. Okay, so now in dukkha,
nivelón. Estamos hablando de nivelón.
In terms of dukkha, unsatisfactoriness, sometimes it is translated as suffering, as pain, and like that. But actually, this translation does not cover the meaning of dukkha, because translation is most of the time limited. Yes. So unsatisfactoriness, as Silananda said, is a little bit better translation, but still, yes. So
Still.
dukkha, because say for example, Sayadaw said, if you go to a movie, you happy or not? Yes, we're happy. Yes, we're enjoying. So how come it's dukkha? Yes. So the word dukkha includes also that, because it will come to an end. Yes.
Because
If
it's
you don't-
conditioned.
it arises and it passes away. So later, now we will explore a little bit more about dukkha, but the translation is usually not satisfactory. Let's say so translation also is dukkha. Okay, so let's most of the time just use the Pali word dukkha, then there is no mistake, no misunderstanding. Wanted to say something? Yeah. Okay, so dukkha, there are different levels of understanding. First of all, as we see, birth, jati, old age, jara, sickness, vyadi, and marana, death. This is quite obviously suffering and pain we can understand. Yes, this Sayadaw even in the video said, you don't have to meditate to understand that this is dukkha, do you?
Do you?
So we can all understand that this is dukkha. But that's not all. The Buddha in the Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, he further explained that the association with the unbeloved is also suffering. Say for example, it can be things or it can be person. Yes, like if mom gives you something that you don't like to eat, how much suffering? Eat it, you must eat it, no, or something. So if we encounter with things that we don't like,
Yes.
or persons that we don't like, or
Situations.
situations. So association with the unbeloved, like things that we don't like or don't want, is also suffering. And at the same time, separation from the loved or something we like is also suffering. This we can also easily understand. Or simply not getting what one wants. It's also suffering. So this is also not difficult to understand. So this is also included in dukkha. Now the Buddha says in the Dhammapada verse 278, Sabe sankhara dukkha, all conditioned things are unsatisfactory. So here, what is conditioned things? Whatever is constantly oppressed by arising and disappearing is what the Buddha calls dukkha.
Which is
So
everything. So then,
except nibbana, no?
except nibbana, yeah.
So whatever arises, mind arises and passes away. Yes, all kind of citta arises and passes away. The material things inside and outside also arises and passes away, arises and passes away. This looks so solid, looks like it never passes away, no? But it does, no? Like the
It is
particles,
decaying,
otherwise
decaying.
it won't get old. Sometimes even we have books or even we have things, it looks so old like after 20 years, but it seems that they don't change the material quality, but actually it does change. So that's why it's getting deteriorated and getting so
The Buddha here is talking about the second law of thermodynamics, the entropy. It is proven by science that because of heat, because of temperature, matter decays. That's why the explanation for death, scientific explanation why things die, why human beings we die or the matter decays, it's on the thermodynamics. And it is unbelievable that the Buddha spoke about that 2,600 years ago. He said matter decays because of temperature. So actually he kind of found this truth long time ago. So, and we can see it with food. Food decays when it stays outside the fridge because heat.
Even in the fridge, sooner or later.
And we because of the person who is a lot in the sun, you can see that their skin, it's well, if it is no cancer or anything, just naturally the skin ages faster. And just as a reminder, anger hit us deeply. Literally hits us. So the more we get angry, the sooner we get older. Period. It's as clear as talking about temperature. So it is really connected with our biology. This kind of dukkha. It's changing. It's hot, and it decays. It will arise and pass away. Arise and pass away many times.
And since all conditioned things arise and pass away, so that's why all conditioned things are dukkha. So So there's only one type of vedanā, no? One type of feeling.
Mm.
So here last time, Andrea and Eduardo, they were asking the questions. Why dukkha? Like why? How come wisdom is dukkha?
Oh,
for
they didn't come
example,
to the.
or actually, wisdom also arises and passes away. It's not forever, no. So it is also constantly oppressed by arising and disappearing. So although wisdom is a good quality, it helps us to get liberated. But in itself, it has the quality of dukkha. Itself. Say for example chili, we used that example, chili is hot in itself. So whether a person thinks that it is yummy or whether a person thinks that it is so spicy, then it doesn't change the quality of the chili. The attitude of the person, whether thinks that it is if it bothers him or not. Yes, if a wise person, maybe dukkha does not bother him. Body pain maybe does not bother him. Yes, but it doesn't bother him does not mean that it is not painful. Yes, so this kind of dukkha is the intrinsic quality of all conditioned things, character.
A happy person may say, I don't experience suffering, I don't experience dukkha, but he's still aging and he still will get old and die and pass away. So it is not a matter of mind, it is a matter of the universe, it is nature. Although we can arrive, hopefully we can get enlightened and arrive to such mental stability and peace that even physical pain or the flow of life will not bother the mind. But dukkha is still there, the body will continue to do its job and it will go.
Yes.
Yeah, because it's like when we think, well, I think that if I accept dukkha, I will suffer more. But it's like I accept dukkha and I start to suffer less.
Yes.
Step by step.
This is what was said. When we understand dukkha,
it's freedom.
it's freedom. You become, because then now you know. The thing is that we are in red numbers. We are always lacking something and searching for it in life. We work, we get family things, projects or something. We are here trying to get, but when you once we move from a little bit from the side to the thing, I said, anyway, everything is temporary. It will pass away. We don't know if it's gonna happen. If it happens, it's a great gift. Then it is a half full cup or the half empty cup. So you know it's suffering. Then whatever little we have, even if it is little, you appreciate much more because you know that the opposite exists. And the other way, we unrealistically try to find a perfect life where everything is gonna be on balance, which we can only achieve a few moments of it and then it falls. And generally, when we have suffered the most is when the balance was there and just one little cause was taken out and the whole thing broke up. That is when we suffer. I just had it. Why? And I need to try again.
Yes.
So dukkha. So then we open and say, yes, dukkha exists.
Yes.
Fine.
So Tejaniya, he says that most of the time there are actually expectations or desires unaware. He said simply the thought of expecting everything to be okay, it's already a time bomb.
Time bomb. I hope everything goes okay.
Yes. But we always have this kind of thoughts, don't you think? Because when Seattle said that, I also reflect on myself. Yes, I do think that not consciously thinking, oh, I want everything to be okay, but somehow, like I feel like everything should be okay, like I want everything to be okay. So like tiny subtle expectations, because not everything is going to be okay, obviously. But we all expect that everything to be okay.
I make a commitment with myself. Generally I say, oh, I hope everything goes okay. Now it's gonna be better. Nature changes. Let's try our best. Okay. No, it's like.
Yes.
Yeah, we say a lot. I wish everything goes okay.
Don't worry, everything is okay.
Thinking that everything is going to be okay is better thinking everything is going to be.
Everything is going to be
as it is. As conditioned.
And this is okay.
And it is okay.
And it is okay.
Yes.
Everything is going. Yes. Even if it goes bad, it is okay. It's the cause and effect. We are here,
And that's accepting dukkha somehow.
Yes.
And we imagine if we make peace with suffering. Suffering can be beside us, and we can be taking a tea with it. Oh, what's happening? No, like, come sit down.
Okay.
That will bring many peace, no, and happiness.
Yeah.
Level.
So the Buddha said, "Sabe sankhara dukkha." All conditioned things are unsatisfactory, but something more coming. So the Buddha said, "Yada panyaya pasati, ata nibindati dukkhe, esa mango visuddhiya." Meaning, when one sees this with wisdom, one becomes wary of the aggregates. This is the path to purification.
Weary means tired or
You're
like
tired
it's,
of,
it's,
like
it's, you are trying to hold something that you say no. It's like trying to hold sand. You try-
Sandcastle.
and then it falls. Trying and then it falls. So once you say, well, this thing cannot be stand. So then you say, okay, leave it there. Then what you want to.
And another way of understanding is that when one sees with wisdom that all conditioned things are unsatisfactory, that we don't hold on to it anymore. Because in any way it's unsatisfactory, why I attach to it? What for? So in that sense, then one gets tired or very or we don't have that eagerness of attaching to I like this, I want this, I like
It
this,
should
I
be
want
like
this anymore, because we understand that it is at the end it is dukkha, it is unsatisfactory. So that's why this understanding brings the non-attachment, which is the path to purification, the path to nibbana.
The how we say the dictionary how you say
Definition.
the definition. The definition of weary means feeling of showing extreme tiredness, especially as a result of excessive exertion. I tried already. So then you say no more trying to lift up the kind of happiness that we're looking for. And then another one is reluctant to see or experience any more of, is like enough. Then detachment. That is the beginning of this. Is too enough. No need to be pushing something that can be pushed.
And
Can't
no need to
be
attach.
pushed.
Yes. Okay.
Change
So
the unchangeable.
so all conditioned things are unsatisfactory. When one sees this with wisdom, one becomes wary of the aggregates. This is the path to purification. Here, the translation says aggregates. Is actually a more meaning translation, no? The translation of the meaning instead of exact words, because here you say it's dukkha, it's dukkha, no? But dukkha, what is dukkha? 5 aggregates are dukkha. Yes, so mind and matter is dukkha. So that means that we get wary of the aggregates. Yes. Okay. So Dhammapada verse 278. So actually it's a series, 277, 78, and 79. So the first one will be sabe sankhara anicca, and sabe sankhara dukkha, and then sabe. In the last one is sabe dhamma anatta. So that means even
Nibbana.
conditioned things, sankhara means everything that is conditioned except nibbana, no? So nibbana is, in this case, except nibbana everything is impermanent, except nibbana everything is dukkha. But including nibbana, sabe dhamma is anatta. Even nibbana is not self.
The whole
Because otherwise we
universe.
think that okay, everything else is dukkha, but so the final I am nibbana. No, how can you say?
Yes,
like,
when people ask,
the
so
self,
when I get enlightened,
liberated, I go to nibbana.
I will go to
That's-
nibbana, and then actually no.
No,
Sabe,
there is also
even
no.
nibbana is anatta. There is no one that goes to nibbana. The Buddha says the path exists, the journey exists, but no traveler in it. What? Yes, but the path exists, the thing exists, but there is no one going there. What?
And also nibbana is not a place, it's not a heavenly realm for us to go there. Yeah. Okay, later on we will see that. Anyway, so
There
this
is no,
is
it's no place. It's no place. Okay, let me tell a joke, little joke.
the place where we can smoke or not.
Yes. There one. You remember that one?
Yes,
I
very
can tell you.
well.
No, everybody knows that one. One lady tells to Disiado. He says, Seado, I have one question. Nibbana sounds great, sounds very nice, but I have a question. Can I smoke there?
Yeah.
So
It sounds very good. I think I want to go there.
I want
But
to go
there's
there,
only
but-
one doubt.
Can I smoke?
Can I smoke?
Yes, he said yes. Yes, you can.
No, he didn't say yes. You can. Okay, so now we have been talking about the vedanas. So let's continue a little bit to finish with the mental feeling, the experiencing the flavor of the object. So we have these 5. Just remember that everything's based on these 5. So whether it is 5 types, 4 types, no 4 types, no 3 types, 5 types, 3 types, 2 types, or 1 type. Yes. Okay. Now the experiencing of the flavor of the object. Now let's see what kind of object can be there. Like what is the character of mental feeling? What does it do? So it can experience pleasant touch, or it can experience unpleasant touch. It can experience pleasant object, neutral object, and unpleasant object. Yes? So now let's see. A little game. What kind of feeling experience unpleasant touch?
Pleasant.
Pleasant touch.
Sukha.
Ta-da. Okay.
Ding.
So what kind experience, what kind of vedanā experience unpleasant touch?
Dukkha.
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 Good. Okay. And how about pleasant objects?
Somanasa.
Somanasa. Okay. So it says here object because it can be any type. No, can be mind, thoughts, can be sight, can be smell, can be taste, can be
Touch.
sound.
I mean,
No, touch.
that's
No, touch is
no.
like only this one. Yes.
Only sukha.
Okay. So how about neutral objects?
Upeka.
Upeka.
Upeka. Okay. And then the unpleasant objects. Domanasa.
Domanasa.
Okay, yes. So the experiencing of the flavor of the object, whether it is these few kinds, is the character or what vedanā does. Yes. Okay, now here, our reaction towards the object here at this point does not have anything to do yet. Yes. Say for example, a person, if he has a painful feeling, say for example, he kicked a stone and he hurt his feet. Yes. So it is dukkha feeling, no, because this body consciousness is associated with pain, no, associated with pain. So whether he like it or not, it is associated with pain. Yes. Nothing to do is a resultant consciousness. Now, in the jhavanas, remember, in the how we active and when we react to it, whether he reacts with anger or not, then this depends on the attitude. Yes. So if he reacts with anger, that kind of consciousness will associate with domanassa. Yes. Or if he associate with understanding, or maybe so with kusala, maybe with upeka. Yes. But I don't think he would feel pleasant domanassa. So the most maybe upeka. Yes. So not all the time have to do with how we react to things, especially when it is functional and resulting cittas. No.
So you can start seeing here how it can be combined. You can have mental, physical pain with neutrality, or you can have pleasant bodily feeling, sukha, with domanassa. I mean, the mind can do anything, or somanassa, upeka. So it starts shifting.
Yeah. Say for example, through body we feel something, let's say pleasant, let's say. Then the mind can attach to it with greed, lobha, mula, citta, associate with somanassa, no? Or it can associate with like a happiness or with understanding, also somanassa possible, no? So here it's actually depends. And
So you start seeing the ingredients, how they start depending on the context they are. It's the same ingredient, but then it starts taking different shapes. Our mind is like a blob of something that is changing
like a clay.
with many causes that is taking this force or taking this force, or wholesome, unwholesome generally, and
Yes. Okay. So now another little game. So this is a traditional way of study. Then we take every kind of citta to see what kind of feeling it associates with. Actually, we have learned this already in chapter 1, so it's just like a revision. Okay, so here we have the feeling sukha, dukkha, somanassa, domanassa, and upeka, and we have all types of cittas, and we will see. So 8 kinds of lobha, mula, citta, consciousness rooted in greed. What kind of feelings do they associate with? Remember? Somanassa and upeka, yes. So 4 somanassa and 4 upeka, yes. Okay, how about dosa, mula, citta? There are 2 of them, so both of them associate with domanassa. Okay, then we have 2 more moha, mula, cittas. It's
delusion
associated
rooted.
with
Upeka.
upeka. Muy bien. Okay, so 2 with upeka. Now, this is with bad roots, yes, the 3 bad roots. Now we have the rootless consciousness. Let's see, eye, ear, nose, tongue consciousness. associate with what kind of mental feeling? Yes?
Upeka,
So
because
all
it's
eight of
it's
them.
just a result with
Yeah.
the
Yeah, all 8 of them, no, associate with upeka. How about body consciousness? 2 of them. Remember, it's like 10, no, dvipancha vinyana, no, 8 with the other 4 senses and 2 with touch. Yes. So how about the 2 body consciousness, touch consciousness, associate with what kind of feeling?
Dukkha.
Dukkha and
Sukha.
sukha. 1 dukkha and 1 sukha. The sukha is wholesome resultant, no, kusala vipaka.
pleasant body feeling and unpleasant.
Unpleasant
Pain.
is the
Body
result
feeling.
of unwholesome
Previous action, unwholesome
action, no?
action in the past.
Akusala vipaka kaya
It's pain.
vinyana. See?
Mhm.
Okay. Now how about receiving consciousness? 2 of them, sampatichana.
Upeka, yes.
Yes, neutral
Yes.
feeling. Yes, because
Yeah.
it's only after
Resultant.
after the eye, ear, nose, and it just
It's
pass
just
on.
it's just
you know?
it's
It
just passing
receives
the
and
thing.
pass
I
on.
thought
Yes,
like okay, take it.
good. So how about investigating consciousness?
Upeka.
And
Somanasa.
somanasa.
Upeka, 2 upeka. One is akusala vipaka and one is kusala vipaka. Yes, and 1 somanasa in the times of kusala vipaka. Also, if the object is a pleasant object,
Very
then the
good.
investigation consciousness also becomes somanasa.
It's like
Yes. Okay. Now, how about the 5 sense averting consciousness? This is a functional consciousness. Yes.
Picasso.
No, it's just turning. No, it just does its job. How about mind or averting?
Upeka.
Same, no?
Upeka.
Yes, same, upeka. Okay. Then how about smile producing consciousness? Asitupa of arahants and
Arahants.
Buddhas.
Somanasa.
Somanasa, yes.
Somanasa.
Somanasa, no, it's smiling. Somanasa. Okay, so let's go with other types of cittas. Almost there. Now let's go with the beautiful consciousness. How about the kusala cittas? 8 of them. Associate with what?
wholesome consciousness.
Yes. The 8, remember? Like 8 good kusala cittas, no? Okay, so they associate
Somanasa.
4 with somanasa and 4 with upeka. Yes.
Neutral
And
feeling.
it's basically very similar like the lower mula citta, but it is a good one, yes, without DT or with wisdom or without wisdom. Remember? Yes? Okay, so 4 of them, somanasa or upeka. Then how about resultant? Great resultant. This great, we have actually explained it before, if you remember. Great not meaning that it is so great, but great in numbers because there are 8 of them. Yes, so this is actually the kusala cittas, no? Sense sphere kusala cittas. So the resultant,
Somanasa. Upeka.
yes, identical, no? Somanasa and upeka, 4, 4. Okay, how about the kriya? Meaning that when a totally
Functional.
enlightened being, he
Upeka.
performs something, something good,
Both as well.
both of them as well, same, yes? It's the same actually as this one, just that they don't plant seeds anymore.
Okay.
Yeah,
He's
it's
happily doing good, but
Uh-huh.
he's not planting anymore because he already finished the
Only
cycle. So he's
functional.
just serving humanity, kind of. That's how the Buddha state or the Arahant state just serve.
Mhm. Yeah. Okay, let's go to jhana cittas. Rupavachara kusala cittas. That means that when we're practicing meditation and attained the 5 material jhanas, what kind of feelings?
Depending.
Upeka.
Somanasa and the rest Beka.
Okay, let's see. Yes, 4 somanasa and 1
Upeka. You remember
Yes.
for the last jhana?
Yeah. Remember, and the 5 jhana factors.
Yeah.
Vitaka, Vichara, Piti,
Piti,
Sukha,
Sukha.
Ekagata, no? So Piti and Sukha, of course they are like with Somanasa, no? The one from the 1st to the 4th jhana, and 5th jhana is Upeka and Ekagata, no? So Upeka,
The last
5th
one.
jhana, 1, 2, 3, 4 jhana, and 5th jhana. Yes? Okay, how about the resultant?
As well.
Same, yeah? Okay, an arhan meditating,
Oh.
same, no? Okay, how about Arupavachara?
Upeka.
Upeka.
Yes, because it's only the 5th jhana above, yes?
Uh-huh.
Yes, so only upeka cannot associate with other, yeah, other one. Okay, how about path consciousness and fruition consciousness? Maga and Phala. This super mundane consciousness, no? Local
Enlightenment
cittas.
moment.
Somanasa. Upeka.
Yes. Or
Wow.
it can be somanasa, it can be upeka. Why? Why are there 20? Remember, because it could be with jhana and without jhana. So if it is with the 5th jhana, then
It's
it is
upekkha.
upekkha, yes?
Mhm.
So how about phala?
Same.
Same, yeah? Okay,
Mhm.
yes. So in this way we have finished the analysis of cittas in terms of vedanā.
Clap, 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 clap,
Muy
clap,
bien,
clap.
muy bien.
How do you feel this kind of game?
I like it.
You, ¿Cómo sienten? ¿Bien?
Very
Charana loves them.
Well, actually, I doubted whether I should put this exercise or not. In the beginning,
Is it okay? Okay, it's time not to give a little. Well, which one was it?
big picture. It's like
Yes, and then you see. Well, this is how we learn actually. So you can see for me was a little bit more like I'm talking personally because this is how our teachers teach. Is you have the book, everybody has your book, and you sit on a table and then just take the page. No graphics, no animations, no none. But yes, it's good to give a little challenge to the mind and to focus.
yes. So in the beginning, I doubted whether to put this exercise or not. But then later, I thought in chapter 3, if we don't associate with the citta, then just only explain vedanā, then we have done it already in cittas. So the purpose of chapter 3 is to associate, analyze the cittas in terms of vedanā, no? So we need to know which citta associate with which kind of vedanā. So that's why I thought, well, yes, maybe we should do this. Okay, so it's also, as you said, it's like a little exercise to okay, so sometimes then we get confused also, but sometimes, yes, of course,
It's
yes,
also a
like
check.
this,
It's
no?
a
So
check.
also,
Mhm.
yeah.
You remember one time at the very beginning of this class that there was all the group of psychotherapists, psychologists, no? And we were talking, and then we said, oh, when we see Abhidhamma, you will see that you can see the emotions and everything, and it's like numbers. You will see that las cuentas salen. You will see that everything. This one has this. So you can see in terms of practical terms what kind of feeling was the patient having regarding something, and then you can immediately start checking where the mind is around and what possibilities they are according to the things that it can get associated.
Say if a person is having anxiety, surely domanassa, nothing else, no? So ahusala, dosa cittas, no? So we know what we need to do about it, no? And so it's kusala, ahusala. So these graphics are very handy because it has all associated with what. So sometimes when we have a little, I don't remember whether, say for example, eye consciousness associated with upekkha or whether it can associate with somanassa if the thing is very beautiful. Let's say, for example, so in this case, when we can check these tables. Later I will send these tables to everybody just to have it. Then we don't look at it all the time, no? But sometimes when we have something, then okay, it's very handy, no? These tables. So these tables.
Mothers, when you have your teenage son or daughter,
Check.
you will say, what is there? Get the list he's right here. This is what's needed to be done. Forget about ideas, forget about counsel or something. It's right. What? Tell me your symptom. Mental symptom. Yesterday, somebody sent a video just briefly. And then there is a Spanish, very, very nice man who has traveled a lot. He has a backpack and he travels. And he kind of have the ability to stop and observe and question things. So he described a big list of possibilities of suffering. And he starts saying, impatience, pain. He quite thorough, very nice list. But as he was saying, I was just thinking, dosa. He mentioned like 20-something types of, and the people was like, wow, how nice to have all the list of suffering. And then you can put everything was in dosa, nothing else.
Well,
So it was like,
if they
I
wanted this list, actually we can send him the page of Vibhanga Pali, the second book of Abhidhamma. The Buddha listed all kinds of the dosa, like the whole page of what can be in dosa. So actually the list is already done since 2,600 years.
Yes, but this is essentially dosa, just aversion. I don't want, I don't like, pushing.
Or in general, sabe sankara dukkha. Every condition thinks is dukkha.
Simple. The Dhamma can be very simple as well.
Yes. Okay, so now here we finished with the first section. So now we are going to the second section of roots. Now roots, we also are quite familiar with them. We have looked at them quite a lot of times now. So we have, remember what is this? Loba,
Dosa,
moha. Yes, greed, aversion, and delusion. On the other side, we have
Aloha,
moha. Non-greed, non-aversion, and non-delusion. So these 6 are called roots. Yes. Now, here,
We have 5 of them for sure. 1 unknown.
yes, Bhante meaning have. Actually, we have potential for everything, but sometimes we think have is like, oh, it's already inside of me, and sometimes this come out, sometimes that come out, but it does not happen like that because there is no storage, no? So depending on situation, we have potential for any of these to arise.
Yes, potential.
Yes, all combinations, no? Combinations. Okay, so loba, dosa, and moha, obviously, they only associate with akusala cittas. Yes, they cannot associate because these are actions, no? When we want something great, when we have dosa, angry, or moha, delusion, so this happens only as our reaction to something, yes? So this associates with akusala cittas, unwholesome cittas. Whenever this happens, it's always unwholesome. Then how about loba, adosa, and moha? Quite obviously, it associates with beautiful cittas. Yes, when we do good, and also, say for example, when we are doing loving kindness meditation or jhanas, even with metta or something, so it can associate with beautiful cittas, but it can also associate with resultant and functional. Remember, because the result is identical, no?
Beautiful.
This result can be. And functional is when the arahant performed good actions that does not plant seeds, which is also good actions, then it also can associate with these good roots. Yes, not the bad roots, but the good roots. So, in simple terms, these 3 bad roots, akusala, these 3 bad roots only associate with akusala, only. And these 3 good roots can associate with kusala or can associate with something called abhyagata. Abhyagata means neither kusala nor akusala. Here meaning resultant or functional. So it's not akusala nor kusala because they are resultant or functional, no? Neither kusala nor akusala. Actually, abhyagata, this term can also include material quality because material quality is also neither kusala nor akusala, no? But here, because we're talking about mind, so here in this case it is not included. But abhyagata means whenever you see these terms, means neither kusala nor akusala. Mostly these other types of cittas and material quality, no? Yes.
So what about the resultant and functional related to akusala?
They are rootless.
They're rootless.
Yes,
Remember?
they're going to get a hetu.
Okay.
Remember the eye
Yeah.
consciousness or
Beyond.
investigating consciousness, all these, they are rootless, so they don't associate with these roots.
Okay.
Yes? Yeah. Okay?
Hasta aquí, como, how are we going until here? It's a little bit rhythm today, ne? But everybody fine?
Yes.
Good?
Yes?
Good?
Okay, we continue. So roots in Pali is called hetu. This word, hetu, you can also find sometimes in suttas or in other places, not only in Abhidhamma. And sometimes it could mean condition, it could mean cause, it could mean reason. But for Abhidhamma, it specifically means roots, these 6. So in Abhidhamma terms, only these 6 are called hetu in Abhidhamma. But in suttas or other things, it can mean other things, no?
The root of something. The root
Or
of
cause,
the
or condition, or reason, no? But a specific Abhidhamma term, hetu, is meaning these 6 cetasikas. Okay? Now, these 6 cetasikas, they are compared with roots because when a tree have roots, they are firm and strong. Yes? So some cittas that are ahetuka cittas without roots, they are said to be weak. So what kind of consciousness, like the resultant consciousness of, let's say, eye consciousness, or ear consciousness, hearing consciousness, receiving consciousness, those kinds of like little small function that it does, then they are not so strong. Yes, not so strong, so they are rootless consciousness. But those that are associated with these ones, they are really strong, in the good way or in the bad way, no? So that's why these 6 are called the roots. So if a citta is based on loba mula, loba roots, greed roots, so it's very strongly and firm with greed, yes, or with dosa, or with moha, or with aloba and adosa, always together, and sometimes
It's
with
strong
wisdom
but
or
gentle.
not. Yes.
No.
Yes. Okay. So it is and compared with roots.
Gentle.
Okay. Small game, and then we go to tea.
Okay.
Okay. Now loba mula citta associate with what kind of roots? Super simple. Loba, now greed rooted consciousness. Now we have the 6 roots here, loba, moha, dosa, loba, dosa, moha, aloba, adosa, moha, no? Okay, so greed-rooted consciousness even says in the name.
Yeah.
So it is obviously
Yeah.
greed-rooted, but also moha. Remember? Because
Because it has-
moha is a
It's always
universal cetasika, no?
Of
So
akusala.
of akusala, no? Universal akusala. So always, when there is greed, also there is moha. So these types of consciousness have 2 roots.
That's why it's the great enemy. It's
True.
lurking in the back of greed and aversion. Always moha.
Yes. Then how about dosa, mula, chitta?
Dosa and moha.
Exactly. Yes. So it's also a 2-rooted consciousness with dosa and moha as well. Okay. Now how about moha, mula, chitta? How many roots? 1.
One.
Yes, it associates only with moha in this case. Yes, otherwise it will be these other types. Then rootless consciousness.
None.
If it is rootless, then obviously it does not associate with any no 0 roots. Yes. Okay.
¿De
Then
qué
how
color
about
son las mangas del chaleco de no sé quién?
well,
You know that one?
no, I don't, but yeah.
Las mangas, yeah.
So no roots. Okay. So how about kama, sobana, jnana, samvayuta? So let's see. Here, be careful. Sense, fear, beautiful consciousness with wisdom. Here says knowledge, but wisdom, meaning wisdom. So how many? Which ones? Sense,
Amoha.
fear, beautiful consciousness with wisdom.
Amoha,
And then?
Aloha dosa,
Yes.
Yep.
It actually associates with all
Trum,
3.
tum, tum.
Aloba, adosa, and amoha. Because all kinds of beautiful cittas, these aloba and adosa, they are universal kusala cetasikas.
You remember are in the 19 already. In the
They are
19
in the
universal.
universal, so they associate with all kinds of beautiful cittas, so always they are there. But since it is with wisdom, so also wisdom, so 3 roots. Yes? Now, okay, how about sense, fear, beautiful consciousness without wisdom?
Aloha dosa.
Two.
Aloba and adosa, so no wisdom here in this case. Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Then how about rupa vachara chitta, 5 material consciousness, 5 material jhana. 15 of them, why? Because they are the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th jhana, kusala, like when they are practicing meditation, attain the jhana, the resultant, and the functional. 555, no? 15 of
Aloha
them.
dosa moha.
3.
Okay, yes, 3 roots, aloha, adosa, and amoha, yes? Okay. Arupa vachara chittas?
Same.
Same, yes?
1.
Yes, also aloha, adosa, and amoha. Okay, now how about lokutara chittas, meaning fomaga, fofala? The 3, no? Surely, yes? Okay, yes. So basically, as you can see, doing good is good. It has like most of the time, at least two
roots.
2 roots, yes? Like, so these ones are very strong, you know, if it is with wisdom, it's 3 rooted. You see that there is, these ones have less roots. Yes, they have less roots.
The cheapest we get by doing good is
2
love
at least.
and generosity. It's the cheapest. Imagine. By doing good, generosity and love.
Or non-aversion and
Gen-
non-hatred, no?
Non-attachment, detachment, generosity, and
Uh-huh.
love.
Yes.
Good is good.
Okay,
Okay.
so with this, we have come to an end with the analysis of roots.
Very good.
But, okay, let's also take a look of the without roots
Roots.
also, no? So just as a reminder, what was it? The 0 roots, which kinds? So before we have already seen this, let's see, we remember, they are the Dvipancha Vinyana, the
Sense.
wholesome and unwholesome, resultant
Resultant.
without roots, yes? So the 10.
When we
Set of
see
10.
beautiful or ugly, depending on the seeds that we planted in the past. We did wrong, we will experience unpleasant essential objects, or we did good, we will experience a pleasant or beautiful.
Objects, yes, but they are weak because they only perform the function of seeing, and they only perform the function of hearing, and like that. So they have no roots. Now, how about receiving 2 of them? Yes, one is kusala vipaka, akusala vipaka. Then investigating, 3 of them, one with somanasa, remember? We just saw, yeah? Okay. Then the turning, also no roots. 5 door, turning to the 5 door, or turning to the mind door, also no roots. And one more,
Has.
smiling consciousness, also
Hasitupa.
these have no roots. Yes? Okay, so 10, 12, 15, 16, 17, 18. So 18 cittas without roots. All the other ones are with beautiful or
Ugly.
ugly roots, let's say. Yeah? Okay.
Well,
Okay, now
unwholesome.
yes. Okay,
Ding.
now
Como ya tienen todo su tecito, continuamos. No, little break, little break.
yes, little
3
break.
minutes, 3
Little
minutes.
break, we come back for rebirth.
Yes, it's coming rebirth, so brace yourself. Brace yourself.
Okay, so let's continue now.
Okay.
Everybody ready? Yes, okay, so let's go to section 3, function, kicca. So now, all kinds of cittas have some kind of function. Yes, whatever, when it arises, it does something. No, it has to, it do something. Yes, so all kinds of cittas, they arises, do their function, perform their function, and passes away. Arises, do their function, and passes away. And so all of them, they these have one function, these have another function, these have one function, one function, one function. But all of them arises, perform their own function, and passes away. So sometimes some kind of cittas can perform different functions in different occasions. Yes. Say for example, one example that everybody can understand. A person at home, he is father. Yes. He performed
The role.
the duty
Role
of
of
father. Then when he goes to his office, he performed the duty of a manager. Yes, but he's the same person. Yes, yes. So sometimes same types of consciousness in different occasions, different situations, they perform different functions, but they are the same types of cittas. Okay. So as you see, we have 89 or 121 types of cittas, but we only have 14 kinds of functions. So all of these cittas, they perform either one of these 14 functions arises and then they pass away. Yes, any of these.
Another example is like the hammer. It can put a nail or it can take a nail, but it's the
yes.
same thing.
So
Sometimes
it
acts
depends
like
on
this, sometimes I
situation,
like
yes.
act like that, but it's the same thing.
Okay, so the first function that we are going to talk about is called rebirth linking. In Pali, it's called patisandhi.
Remember this word. Remember this one. It's gonna
It will come
it's
again
gonna
and again.
come again and again. It's the thing that makes us born here.
The first citta.
The age-old question that why are we here? Why this and all that? What the universe and it is. You will see that it's linked to this.
Yes, this is actually the function that is being performed by the first citta of a lifetime, let's say, of a particular lifetime.
Of a being.
Of a being, yes? Okay, so now, to understand what is rebirth linking, let's take the example first of human beings. As we are human beings, let's talk about only human beings. Later we talk about other beings, yes? So, about human beings, what is called rebirth, we actually need to know a little bit of how the Buddha explained how life, what is considered like how life starts. So, in the moment of conception is what the Buddha meant by rebirth. So, in the moment of conception, what happened is that one kind of citta arises, and this type of citta is always a vipaka citta, a resultant consciousness.
From previous life.
Yes, from previous life, yes, a resultant consciousness.
The
Plus some kind of cetasikas. No, it always must have some
conception, just to be, I know we understand, but just to be clear, is right it will be considered right the moment when the sperm, how you say?
when conception happens.
Enters. No, but there is another word that is
Fertilized.
fertilizes the egg. In that moment, consciousness already is linked.
That consciousness arises, and so when this resultant consciousness arises together with its cetasika at the same moment, then some kind of material properties, which is a product of karma, produced by karma, because material quality can be produced by four kinds of conditions, the Buddha explained. Sometimes it can be produced by karma, of course, depending on karma. It can be produced by temperature. Let's say all kinds of outside things are produced by temperature. Yes. Yes, because they have no karma. No, they don't do anything.
Ah.
Yes. So, and then also it can be produced by nutrition, like food we eat, and also it can be produced by mind itself.
The mind
Say, for
can
example, when we
create
get angry,
matter.
then we become so hot. Then these kind of material properties are produced by mind. Yes. So there are different kinds of material properties produced by different things. And chapter 6, we're going to look at material properties, and that will be more clear. But now here, at the first moment, since there is nothing else, not the other, no food yet, no, not eating at the moment, and also temperature in this, not yet. Later it will come. Yes. And so this material quality, which is produced by karma, so these three things, vipaka, citta, cetasika, and material properties that arises in the moment of conception is what the Buddha calls rebirth. Okay?
There is a little bit of matter and a
Some
little bit of
doesn't
mind
have.
already. The seed of tune we started. So
One
mind,
mind, no, not little bit, no.
yeah,
One
it's,
citta,
yeah,
right?
it's like the life started. Mind, consciousness, and matter, which is what we are.
They are related.
Started
And this
coming
moment.
from the causes, previous causes. It is pushed. Whatever we were doing before, it gave the potentiality to born in the family we born. It's talking about, I will remind again, it's talking about us. This is us.
Human being.
That's why we born in the family we born. That's why we born in the country we born. That's why, because of the karma. That precisely.
Boy or girl.
Boy, girl, slow, fast, all these tendencies
Tendencies or potential.
came from before, and it just crossed the umbral. How do you say?
Threshold.
The threshold of life and death, of death and life. The last life died, and then connect to the next immediate. There is no.
Where are some
There is
classic
no
examples?
limbo, there is no space that waits, there is no waiting room like, guys, is there a body? Wait, is there a body already for me? Oh no, wait a little bit. That doesn't exist. Immediately, the consciousness, our consciousness has been moving for thousands and thousands of lives. So,
Or millions, if not.
millions of
knows?
lives.
Yeah, so it's very long
Until
time.
we understand, ladies and gentlemen. One
Okay,
day we will.
so here, what is called rebirth is, again, vipaka, citta with its cetasikas and with some kind of material properties produced by karma. These three things together in the moment of conception is what the Buddha called rebirth. Now, a vipaka citta, this patisandhi citta, meaning the rebirth linking citta, is this function of rebirth linking is being performed by a vipaka citta. Yes, as we said,
It's a
where
fruit.
resultant consciousness. So this resultant consciousness in this time performed the function of rebirth linking. That's the first citta that arises in this life, let's say this life, or any particular life, yes?
Mandi,
So-
we Mandi.
Mhm.
Okay.
Is it clear until here?
Yeah.
Yes? Okay, so let's say any lifetime, let's say this being, the moment that the conception happened, then it started this life of charana, let's say, at that moment. And that first citta of this life is a resultant citta, resultant citta of an action of past
Right.
life. Yes?
Mhm.
Okay? So, what kind of vipaka citta can be possible, can perform this kind of function of rebirth linking? Let's take a look. So say for example, if it is a human being that is like all of us here, without any problem, say a mental problem or
Deficiency.
handicap problem or
physical
or
malformation.
mental problems, without any problems, that most probably it could be this kind of sahetuka kamvachara vipaka, meaning sense sphere resultant consciousness with roots. So meaning some kind of kusala that we have done in the past life with roots, yes, at least two, no? Aloba and adosa, and sometimes could be with wisdom or with not, no? Could be or not. So some kind of good action that somebody done in the past life, somebody because I don't know who. So somebody and then so bring the result of this, and then this result happened happened as the first citta of this life. Yes, so it can be here. Can be this,
When you want to
can be this
experience
time.
gratitude, thank the last one you were.
Last guy.
The last guy or girl,
Well, no, it was
thank
a
you so
process.
much.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
did,
It was
he
a
did,
process.
he did
It was
well in
process.
order to be as we are right now. Certainly that person did very well. I mean, he died with love and generosity. minimum, and he did good because we lack nothing and we work fine. So you can practice appreciation, not generosity. How to say? Gratitude towards that thing. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Well,
May and also sorry, Sarah,
Yeah.
a commitment to say, if I don't get enlightened on this one, I wish I leave something good for the next one, which is gonna be somehow us again.
Actually, the same one and not the same,
Same
one, or
process.
actually no
No
one.
one.
The one in the future is gonna be benefited by what we do now. So invest well. Invest
The
well.
next cluster
It's gonna
of
be linked to
particles,
you.
appearing in
linked
this
Eh?
the next cluster of particles.
Yes.
The
appearing
next
in-
cluster of particles, and you know that one that is coming and the one that was before us,
Yeah.
it's more our family than our family now. Much more. It was us, some kind of like this. It was not, but it's really our family.
It's the
That
same
we are
process.
linked. It's the same process. Our family is just borrowed. I mean, the only thing, the only thing our parents did was borrow an egg, which could have been one of the 1,000 eggs of the mother and one of the trillions of the father, and then it just came together. That's what the contribution
condition.
was a physical,
Condition.
worldly condition, which happens that our consciousness was ready at that vibration and frequency and enter onto this one, and suddenly this is your papa, and we have to learn, oh, this is papa, this is my mama, as the many papas and mamas that we have had in previous
But
existences.
of course, that doesn't mean that our father and mother has no merits. No, the
No,
Buddha
no,
no, for sure.
always
For sure.
says that our father
Yes.
and mother is the
Yeah.
greatest because they are our first teacher
Our first
and they have
teachers.
done great for us. So we must have most grateful
Gratitude.
and service for our
Without them,
parents.
we would have not survived. So
Yes.
period. We owe
Yes.
our lives to them.
And
And
there's a lot of
also-
similar karma, right? Like
Yes, of
Yes, we
course.
are linked.
Otherwise, we won't be born with these parents,
Yes.
no other
Yeah.
parents. So of course, it's also connected with some kind of karma relation with these parents or with these
I mean,
persons.
If we happen to born naughty, it's the bad karma of our parents that got linked. If we happen to be good guys or girls, it's a good karma of them. So it's definitely linked, but and divisive and divisive. It's unique to each of us. Just it's like the carpet. You see many threads. We are a thread, and we cross with many. But it is a single carpet. Universe is a single carpet, and we are only one thread of it. So it crosses with many. This is our family, but everybody is single line until we. It depends how we develop to goodness or bad.
Say for example, karma of each person does not mix with the karma
Yes,
of
that's
other
the
person.
one.
That's what
Doesn't
I think
mix.
Bhante wants to say. So meaning like if I do something good, then the result will not be experienced by another process, another being. No, if I did something bad, then other people will not
pay.
do the experience the result for me. Say for example, but because we are related, so some kind of let's say Fabi in this case, for example, her resultant, or because of something she did before, and because something we did before, then we happen to be here together at the same time, or maybe we can interact, and depend on our attitude, we are planting new seeds, then will come fruits in later existence, no, or later time, let's say. But what I did, she won't get the fruits, or what she did won't. I won't get her fruits. Yes. So they don't cross, but they can go
They
together.
can go together.
Say
And
for example, we have performed some kind of good actions together, everybody before.
actually, our teachers to know something is nice. Any person that we get in touch in this life, teacher said that it almost certainly we have met in the past and we have done good things together. We planted seeds. We couldn't be experiencing this fruit moment if we didn't plant it together the seeds in another moment. So it is mostly
Together or
like
not,
kind of
depends.
99.999 possible that we have done good
Surely
before.
we have met before, but whether this exact result is because of this action that we've done together, and this time only the Buddha will know.
No,
Yes.
but we have seen. I think nice to meet you again.
Yes.
In Tibetan Buddhism, there is this saying that all the beings are or past mothers
Yes.
and fathers. What is that?
It
Actually,
could be
it
very
could be-
possible that I have to check again if it is
It
coming
is, it
originally
is.
from the
I think it
Pali.
is.
I think
I
it
think
is.
it
I
is
think
from
the
the
Buddha
Pali.
said so.
Okay.
Like has been our parents or
So
has been our
because they
relatives.
say treat everyone nicely because you have been or they have been your father or mother in the past. Almost definitely. Another saying that the teacher says, and it's really beautiful, says, birds of the same kind fly together. You never see eagles with seagulls or small birds. Or so if we are flying, we are flying.
Okay, so let's say for a normal human being, then it would be most of the time this kind of kusala vipaka, some kind of kusala that we did before with good roots. Then it happens with the result with good roots. Yes, these good roots. And also, what kind of other cittas, vipaka cittas, resulting consciousness, can perform this relinking function? It could be rupa vachara vipaka, fine material resultant. Yes. So if this person he practiced during his lifetime, or as a human or as a Brahmin, no, or any kinds of beings, well, not any kind because animals cannot, no, or lower realms also cannot. Okay, so if they attain the fine material jhanas, then the next rebirth will be in the fine material realms. They will be reborn as fine material Brahmins.
Their frequency was very fine, so they connect to a very fine frequency realm.
Yes. So this also devas also here. Also because of kusala.
Last
because
one
of jhana.
was connected to a kind of meaty, earthy
sense sphere.
When he died, he or she was connected to human. That's why we came into here.
Or devas, no? Devas also heavenly beings also. And then okay, rupa vachara, and also of course arupa vachara. So if he has arupa vachara jhana, non-material jhana, then when he dies, and then the first consciousness that arises in that being will be arupa vachara vipaka cittas, no? So in this case, he has no more material quality, only mind. These beings have only mind. It's non-material, so only mind being. Okay, so these three types can be some kind of vipaka citta, but also there are another two types, which is rootless consciousness that can also perform the function of relinking, function of rebirth. These two, not all of them, exactly, they are the two upeka santiranas, meaning the investigating citta with neutral feeling. One is akusala vipaka and one is kusala vipaka without roots. Yes. So in this case, although the name is investigating consciousness, what it is performing is not investigating. It is performing relinking consciousness. So these are the type of consciousness that also can perform different functions in different time. If it happens to be the first citta of the lifetime, then it is performing the function of relinking, rebirth, linking consciousness, but they are unwholesome resultant or wholesome resultant without roots. So what happened, or what kind of beings born with this kind of rebirth consciousness? This unwholesome are all beings that are in the four lower realms.
Beyond, under humans.
Animals, peta,
hungry ghosts.
Peta is hungry ghosts, and hell beings they call, and also asuras. And other kinds of beings that those beings that suffer a lot of suffering. So they are reborn with those kinds of life because of akusala vipaka. But you see, there is no roots, so there are no bad roots. It's nice, no, because then they can have the chance. Because otherwise, if it's always bad root, then you always stay there.
They can move out of it.
Yes.
When
Yes.
And apparently, we have been there a few times. Let's put it that way.
Yes.
Once it can extinguish the karma, it gets out of it by itself, or
Yes. When
Because
the
they cannot
lifespan, it
practice
could
it.
be lifespan can finish. Say for
Okay.
example, human lifespan at this moment, at this time is like 80, 85, 90 years old, no? So when lifespan finished, say for example, the the other realms, no, say the devas, they live like billions of years or eons, no. So hell beings or hungry ghosts, they could also live
They live
very
very
long
long.
life. So if the lifespan of that life is finished, then they will die from that life and be reborn in another life. It could be again there, or it could be another lower realm, or it could be if some kind of kusala vipaka arise from previous
Before
lifetimes,
dying,
then he could
taking
become
them
human
out.
again. Or like,
Okay.
so it depends, no? Also, it's a little bit more complex, but in chapter 5 we're going to look at karma. So also sometimes, say for example, a being was unfortunately born into these lower realms, but because of some kusala vipaka that he has done before, then it this kusala vipaka performed as a destruction karma that destroyed his unlucky karma, not unlucky, but unwholesome resultant.
Take effect.
Then he's died from that life and born as human again. Possible.
So people beyond us, I mean, finer realms live for very long, and lower live for very long. So actually, human life is very precious. It's very brief, and we have opportunity to free ourselves from the whole cycle in this life. So my friends, it's really precious what we are experiencing right now. We cannot overlook it or take it for granted. It's a great opportunity that we are having, that not just born human, but have access to a method that can help us liberate ourselves. So it is a really precious window between existences. So cannot underestimate this.
Yes. Yes.
And this concept also from Tibetan Buddhism about Bardo. I remember you mentioned that like there is no Bardo.
There is no.
Oh.
Yeah.
But
What there can be is an immediate
Another life.
another life that lasts very long, and then it happened, and
So-
often is confused by that. But there is no waiting.
because
waiting.
they kind of studied that phenomena, but I assume I trying to understand what is it.
Yes.
Maybe it's like a Peta realm.
Yes.
What you stay like for
5 days.
Briefly, shortly.
Yeah.
Before like
Then he reborn. Not before is another life. Then he died from that petal life and born again as human.
It's not
Possible.
anyway.
But not everybody happens, no?
Okay.
Not even alive is the same guy. There is nothing there, no soul there. So when it is there, it's just the process flowing. It's not the same guy or waiting there and then move to something else. But the process stayed in another life and then changed to something and then came back to human realm in the third life. Actually, it was 1, 2, and 3.
Could be there like some similarities
Yes.
about the
The being, yes.
yeah.
Because
Yes.
when person
Yes.
die, and then if he was reborn as a Peta being, let's say, then Peta being, they do not born from a mother's womb. They born
Spontaneously
spontaneous
push.
rebirth.
Okay.
So they immediately born, let's say, no, I don't know how, let's say, like a person of 16-year-old or something. No, they immediately born.
They just kind of appear on
And
these
it is,
realms. There is no need for labor.
Okay.
It's a push.
Yeah, and it is very similar to the last person. It could be physically. It could be so. We can be confused. Oh, this is that guy, and he's like so many stories that he didn't realize that he died already. And then he said, "Why are you taking away my things from my house?" No,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
these kind of beings that they could be like quite similar with how he was in the previous life, but it's another life already.
And definitely their karma is the same and the process is the same. So there is a link.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's what he has done in the past life, no?
It is the same process, but who knows if the identification of the being.
Then if he died from that lifetime and reborn as a human being, then it's already the third life, like the Buddha, like the Bhante said. So it is not that there is a waiting hall that everybody die, go there, wait a little bit, and be reborn as a human, no? Because immediately he was reborn as a Peta already,
Yeah.
as another life. But not everybody go through that. If it was a sure thing, then everybody should do that, no? But other beings, they died and reborn immediately as a Brahmin, immediately as a human again in conception, no? And so it's not a must.
Okay.
Now, in lower realms and in higher realms, these beings born spontaneously. They don't need to be waiting 9 months in the womb and then have the labor. So they can born already old. So their mind from this one to that one, it is already like, hey, what happened? That's why a Peta can be here like it can be on this realm around us, but we cannot see it because his matter is different than the one that our eye can perceive, But it doesn't mean that there are no X-rays and gamma rays. Right now, there are cosmic rays crossing us, but we don't perceive them. Microwaves, we don't see them, but it is real. It's so real that it heats up things. So, in that sense, they born up simultaneously. Something very interesting when we ask teacher, how come if we forget everything? Because we were saying, oh, imagine we study all this and then we die and we need to start again. We are babies again. We need to go to the kindergarten, and maybe this is what we're doing right now. We already kind of like it, and we are remembering many things. Oh yeah, something. I remember something like that. But we say, teacher, why nature is so cruel to humans? Why do we forget? Why do we get reset? Where do we get the reset from life to life? And you know what he answered, based on the scriptures? He said that the pain of the labor as we came from
the suffering of the 9 months,
the suffering of the womb, being there, generating again, and the coming out of mama is so strong, that period in our life, that is the thing that resets our mind. So that's why babies remember more things, but as they're getting older, once we get identified with a new one, a new boy or girl, or born here, this nationality, whatever, we start forgetting the previous, but that's the thing that resets us, because we need to born from. Imagine how strong that period is. Like,
yeah, it's like 9 months of much suffering, because imagine the baby always dark and liquid and like soap,
and
like
you fighting with the mother for
conditions.
nutrients.
Wow.
It is a war. When you see, there is one documentary of BBC that they say there is nothing romantic about the relation between a mother and a child. Their how you say, the immune systems, they fight each other. The baby, because the mother somehow feels, and even we say it's my son, my something. It is an alien thing inside, and sometimes the how you say that now?
What, immune system?
Immune system is trying to attack, and the baby has ways to start neutralizing the hormones of the mother. You see at the chemistry of pregnancy, it is a battle going on there. So it is
Maybe
not like
that's why it
I'm
feels so
romantic,
wet
my
or
baby,
like,
and all these things. I want to
drowsy
feel
and
mother. What? It is just biology doing its force. It's a but no se asusten, vamos adelante. Mama, no, don't worry. Just nature. Nature can be tough.
Don't
Nature
worry,
can
they
be tough, but
already
it's very
passed through
interesting. It's very interesting, but it is tough.
Okay.
So, sorry, who was about to say something, Kat?
Yeah, I didn't understand before why you was suffering when you were inside. And I always was thinking about the time, because not always, for example, I was born only 5 months and a half instead of 9. And so I don't know if maybe that's something
You were
different.
reset less. That's why you remember. Half
And
reset
it is
the
also depends on the karma of everybody, no? There was a story quite unbelievable that, but because of a very bad karma of a person, that he stayed in his mother's womb before born for years in the scriptures. Like usually 9 months born, no? But he stayed for years.
You didn't want to come out.
No, because of a past bad karma, he stayed much
And
longer.
you had to be
that
there.
time. So it depends on a lot of different conditions and karma of different person.
And there are also some cultural. I'm also 7 months, so I have a few questions on that.
Yeah.
Not in the scriptures, but culturally they say that generally people who is in is like want to come out. Let me out. It's like kind of.
Yeah, and also
Hurry up! Let's finish this stuff.
Yes, and also it's other kind of suffering. Now then, when come out, then you have to stay in a box for
You have
3
to
months.
stay.
and
Yeah.
So it depends on karma of everybody.
It's,
Okay, so
nature
now,
is interesting.
continue.
Nature is interesting, ladies and
we
gentlemen.
still have a lot to go, and we only have 10
I thought you still have a lot of time.
No, we don't. Okay, so now let's say, so this one is all the akusala vipaka, so all kinds of beings in lower realms are born with this kind of relinking consciousness. And how about this one, let's say, because this is actually a kusala vipaka, yes, but just that it has no roots. So let's say the kusala that person done, or that being that done it previously, is not strong enough, there is no roots. Although it is a resultant, good resultant of a good action, but because it was not strong, so it does not have roots. So this person was born as a human being with mental or physical deficiencies.
So these kind of beings we can, when we as teachers, is like people
No
with
words.
autism or Down syndrome or any kind of not totally functional.
Or blind
They
and
born
handicap.
Also
or
blind
handicap,
or
yes.
deaf.
Or deaf. It was enough to arrive.
As a human,
their ticket was not the top quality, so they were able to arrive to
in a
this
good realm.
in the good realm, but
But not enough to provide them with
complete-
everything they need.
or provide everything to continue or be able to liberate or get enlightened. So there are many possibilities in between it. So very precious life, my dear family.
What about
Very precious.
the people that born in, like, for example, Africa or some really
Oh, if they are
Functional?
functional and like
Yeah.
like us, then
But have
it is
like
this
no-
one. But maybe
It's
but
it's
they
good
do.
karma. Sorry, they have good karma to born a human, but bad karma for the situations they were developed. For example, you have animals that live much better than many millions of humans. The animals we have live much better than millions of humans. They have certainly food, they are washed, they are cared, they are loved, they are hugged, but they are animals. So they had bad karma to born animal in a good environment. So karma, it is so complex, only a Buddha can understand. There are so many causes in place. It just to be alive, there are so many. Imagine through the course of samsara, where not just the causes of this life, but the causes and previous actions of many lives in the past are in action. Why it's impossible.
Chapter 5 we will get into
Chapter
details
5
of that.
will be like bam for
Okay,
that
most
karma.
probably we're not going to finish, but let's see until
Yes.
where, no? Okay, so all these resultant consciousness, now you see that they are all resultant. They can perform the function of relinking, rebirth linking
Patisanli.
consciousness. Patisanli. Now let's take an example for a normal human being, let's say like any of us. So we were born with the kusala vipaka with roots. Yes, if we are functional normally, then we are born with this kind of kusala vipaka resultant consciousness. So in the moment of conception, this chitta, this type of chitta arise performing the function of relinking, rebirth linking consciousness. Then during our lifetime, then this same type of resultant consciousness continue arising and arising, same type, yeah? But what it performs now, the function is different. It's life continuum called
Bhavanga.
Bhavanga, no? We have already talked
The
about
unconscious of our mind will be tasting this flavor because it's born with that flavor, and as long as our mind goes to sleep, it will go and touch this object again. It will, and then be interacting as we are. Then it go to unconscious, touch this object, and then come back.
Yeah.
So it will be the characteristics of our life. That's why we can feel some kind of continuum or characteristic of our tendencies.
Actually, we cannot know what kind of object it is and how it is or what it is. We cannot know because this is a resulting consciousness. No, only the Buddha or maybe Arahats maybe they can know, but for us we cannot see or know because it's just a resulting consciousness that happens in the time of rebirth linking, and also a lot of times throughout the life, during between active consciousness. Yes, so you remember the mental process, then there are bhavangas, then if there are something happening, then active consciousness happens, no? Like are we seeing something, we thinking something, or we reacting something, oh no, nothing, and then it happens again. So between mental process, they happens. And this actually their function is to just maintain life, because always chitta has to arise one after another, no? So if there is no chitta, then life is finished, no? So these ones, that's why they are called life continuum. They arises in between the active moments all the time to sustain the life. Yes. Okay. So now when this karma, this kusala karma, is so powerful that it sustained us throughout the life. But when it comes to an end, finish, then again this same type of consciousness resultant consciousness, same type, arise again, performing the function of death consciousness, chuti
That means
consciousness.
C-U-T-I.
Chuti
Chuti is the last consciousness that we
of
have
a particular life.
in this life. Before we die, the last mental activity, and then it will first and last.
It will come more graphic, yes? Okay, so this kind of vipaka, kusala vipaka, you see how strong karma is, no? Like what we did in the past, like one kusala karma, then because of that, then rebirth happened. It performed the rebirth linking consciousness. Then throughout the life, it keeps continuing the same type of resultant of the same action, no? It keeps sustaining our life, and in the end, it arises again as performing the function of death consciousness, and this life is finished. Yes. Okay. Now let's see a little bit, zoom out a little bit, because there are something in before and there's something after. Yes. Let's say. Okay. So let's say in a particular lifetime of this person. So in the first moment of conception, this type of a result, kusala vipaka, happened. Then throughout his lifetime, then it again happened again as bhavanga. Then when it is the last moment passed away, then also this type of consciousness arise again, performing the function of death consciousness. Now before that, what happens?
Same
He
type,
just died,
not the
yeah?
same.
Yeah, he just died. So chuti arises, and then patisandhi immediately arises in the next moment. So 9 billions, no, like now, any blink of an eye, billions of minds pass away. So only one after another, immediately. So this death consciousness arises, and rebirth consciousness immediately arise. And this moment, rebirth is, although it is just one moment away, it is considered a new life. Another lifetime.
It is another country, another realm, or somewhere else. The consciousness
it can be
somewhere
totally different, or even different realms, no?
because consciousness has no space, so it can move just like and just take another body, and then the body is what keeps us here. But the consciousness has no. It's just there somewhere. No.
Well, actually, it does not go anywhere. It just arises in another place, no? Because it does. This one already arises and passes away already, wherever it may be, and another one arises in another place. So Sayadaw Sirananda, he explained with an example, which I think is very easy to understand. He said that although it is a new life, seems like something really big, no? But actually, it is like the moment of New Year. Say, for example, now it is the 31st of December, and
12:59.
11:59 minutes.
11:59.
11:59 minutes, or 12 exactly. Yeah. So then the next second, or
It's
next
already
second is the day 1st of January 2020.
20.
Let's say. So it's only 1 second away, but we said it is a new year. Also, in the same way, this chuti consciousness arises, and the next consciousness arises, patisandhi. Then this is the last life, and this is a new life, like the new year, no? In the same way, but just one moment away.
Two questions.
Yes.
The Abhidhamma is very similar. It couldn't be like a taste of a mango, the next one. Unless I really cultivate on this one.
No, you can just change from life to life.
In the next one is coming.
The whole life you have.
You mean in the next life, no?
Well, the previous one, it could
Yes.
be right from.
So that's why it's
the
different.
taste could be very different.
Yes, because
From
it can
life to
be-
life, yes.
Yes, in the same life, no. In the same life, there's always the same type, no? In the different life, let's say, for example, this person, that's why it's another apple, because it's another type, another resultant. So if, say, for example, the person, he was born in, let's say, before he was an animal, and he was reborn as a human being, then it is totally another type, no? It's akusala vipaka, no? And it becomes kusala vipaka, no? So it is different.
So what we do here, this is when it becomes really important. What we do here, we change the taste and the quality of the apple.
For the next.
We may have born with a good apple, and we behave bad, and we end up at the end with
With a leaf.
we end up with a bad apple. So the next one is a
with a
bad
leaf,
apple.
no?
Or, as hopefully is happening right now, we born with a good apple already. We born with very good conditions, no
Actually-
hunger, no something. We improve the actions that we do here, so we may leave a better apple for the next one.
It will come.
And hopefully we don't make another apple.
Yeah, it will come now. Yeah. Okay, so before this chuti, you see this is different now. It's a different resultant consciousness. Now, although it's resultant consciousness, but it's a different one. Yeah. So what happened is also all this same kind performed as Bhavanga in his last life. Yeah. So in this way, from one life passed to another life.
Oh,
Yes.
Charana, very mysterious you
So
are.
we don't know. It's just imagination. Yes, from one life, then he passed into another life.
It could be.
Hey, nice, Charana, Jesus.
Okay, so after that, what happened? After he passed away,
Oh.
what happened is that, again, in conception, if he was to be born as a human being, then again, another type of rebirth linking consciousness depends on what he have done throughout his lifetime, then, or this life or previous lives. Not necessarily that this life, say for
Yeah, you
example,
can give a-
if an animal, he has no chance to do good, say for example, so how could he be ever born as a human being, we may say. So that's why this result is not only limited to this life. It can be a
becomes
previous
the whole
that we don't
process,
know.
because we're
So
carrying
it
a
can
lot
happen.
of
Yes.
stuff from previous
happen.
life
That,
now.
that's why they have chance to come out. If as a human being some lives ago they have done good, and if that happens in the life of the time of the death of the dog, then he might be reborn as a human being.
Okay.
We are chemically very rich.
Okay, so now rebirth consciousness, relinking consciousness continue, and the same type of this type now, the result of any actions here or before done, will perform the
No.
same relinking consciousness as Bhavanga. As
Rebirth,
re-
Patisandi,
as
and
Bhavanga and Chuti again, or if his life continue, no? So in this way, from one life
wow,
to another life.
Charana.
If he was what happened? Okay, so from one life, then she passed away. Rebirth consciousness arises, and he passed through this present life. And if he has done good and is to be reborn as another human being, then another rebirth linking consciousness happens. Yes. So what happens if this person, in the lifetime, that he has done so much good things, then he could be reborn in the heavenly realms. He was very generous, and then he was a moral. He has a very good morality. Then he has done so much good. Then this kind of rebirth consciousness, the result of his good action, gave him rebirth in the heavenly realms, in the Deva realms. Then he lives there and continued another life. No, and what happens again if this person was a very good meditator, and he attained the jhana, fine material jhana in this lifetime, let's say. So when he died, that kind of karma, because it is so strong, jhana, so he will, this resultant will surely happen if he maintained the jhana until the capability of jhana until his death time. No, say for example, a person, he practiced jhana when he was young, then he never practiced again. Maybe he lost the capability of entering jhana again when he was old. Then in this case won't happen. But if he still have the capability to do so, then he will be, this kind of resultant will happen, and he will be reborn in the fine material realms. Yes. Okay, and so the same kind of resultant will happen as Bhavanga. Now, how about the person? If this person, if he has done a lot of bad things during lifetime, and the resultant happens
Serpientes y escaleras.
to be with a ruthless resultant consciousness in this time. So, as the rebirth linking consciousness, so he might be reborn as an animal, let's say, for
Or
example.
this is the good one.
Yeah.
I mean,
Or, and then,
Or
so
lower.
throughout the lifetime of the cat, it will be the same type of Bhavanga, resulting consciousness, no? Or it could also be in any of the four Wufu
lower.
state, or Wufu state, yes? So here you see that it is not the conception, because some of them, they don't born by the womb, yeah? So instantaneous born also possible. And now, so throughout this lifetime, whatever he has done determines what's, or before, no? Or as we said, that determines what's going to happen. And now what happened if this person, he attained arahantship in this lifetime. Then he finished with all kinds of defilements and no more defilements, and he has already purified his mind to the maximum with wisdom. So what happens is that there will be no more rebirth.
Finish. Liberation from samsara.
Yes.
Mm.
So that chuti of that lifetime will be the last one. Then there will no more arising of anything, no mind, no matter anymore. So that is real peace. Because remember, everything that have arising and passing away is dukkha. So that's why nibbana, when we attain ultimate nibbana, there is no more arising and no more passing away. So that's the real happiness, real peace.
May we live something good as we go.
Are all the mental components of the mental process present regarding of which kind of rebirth do you have, or realm? I mean, Bhagwanga is present also in Beta,
Yes.
in Deva.
Yes, all beings happens the same way.
The
The
same-
process,
the
is,
same
the
mental
process is
process.
the same, but
Same way.
with different ingredients.
Mhm.
Some
Mhm.
have no possibility of some have more of such, but the
Okay.
process, consciousness continues doing
Yes.
the same.
Mental process is the same.
Mm.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah. Okay. So here, that's the goal. Yes.
Mm.
Okay. So now I think it's good time to stop here. And next time we will continue a little bit about other kinds of functions, and then with that we almost finished 3 sections of chapter 3.
Very good.
So we are going we're going fast because the first 2 chapter is about ingredients. Now we already know the ingredients. It's only other explanations of how they work and other functions. No, so that's why we are going fast. So from now on it will be faster.
Okay.
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 So
Thank you,
we
dear
stop
family.
here.
So how was today? Little. ¿Qué nos llevamos a casa? What do we bring home, dear family, from today? I know today was an intense class. Today was from the game
Since from the
starting and
dukkha.
information and the dukkha and thing. It was intense, and this, don't worry, we will see them in detail in chapter 4, chapter 5 about karma, and chapter 6 about matter. So we will get there. Today was like we now arrived to it's like we were climbing with the first 2 chapters a mountain. We arrived to the top of this 2-chapter
Plateau.
mountain, and now for the first time we saw what we will tread. We will walk now. So this is kind of what happened today. So what do we bring, my dear family?
Wisdom.
We bring silence.
Fernando said wisdom.
Wisdom. Fer brings wisdom. In which way, Fer?
Understanding reality,
Oh,
and the nature of the mind. Yeah.
Sadhu,
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 sadhu.
sadhu.
I would say the acceptance of dukkha,
Mhm.
or I wish,
That's good.
as an idea. At
That's very
least.
good. In which way?
Not fighting with the things that happen because that's only nature.
It's just rising. Anyway, it's gonna go good. It's gonna go bad. It's gonna go. So we can chill out and relax. Don Marce.
I really like the meme you sent us about this monk, little monk.
I will send it.
Take it easy.
Nothing is under control. Take it easy.
So yeah, it's the same. And in the other way, talking about the relinking, the rebirth, I'm starting to figure out this is a very big doubt in my existence for so many years. So now it's like finding exact pieces and information that helps me to understand this. That has been a long time
Yeah,
ago,
yeah, yeah, me
doubt
too.
and why and this and that. And it's very helpful, very helpful to try to. And now I was understanding like it's like water, like sometimes it's water, it's in the cloud, and it can be the river, and then it can stay whatever, it's just flowing.
It's just rolling. Yeah.
Sometimes it's river, sometimes it's ocean,
Sometimes it's vapor, sometimes it's ice,
it's
sometimes
always
it's the
happening
same.
something, and
Yes,
it never
that's a very
stops.
good example.
Never
Yes, that's
stops.
Yes, never stop that samsara.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
Because you
samsara.
see, like we said, dying immediately the next moment is
Exactly.
already born again. Then
Water is all.
that's his life and life.
Can we have a break?
Uh-huh.
No, you just
No break.
flowing.
Yeah.
Well,
Only
well, there
Nibbana.
could
That's
be-
why
there
Nibbana is
could
the
be
only
break.
break that could.
There could be break. Yes, there could be break.
There is
Later
one.
we will come
We
up
have
with
to.
that.
We leave it like that. There is a break somewhere
Okay,
there.
wow.
yes.
Like a. Okay, here we go.
Okay.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. May it brings sincerely what you just shared. It brings me sincere happiness. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Because I know that it's like when I heard this information before, I had that same question for at least all this life.
Yeah.
And when you see information
Yeah.
and things, the only thing I can say, it will get better. This is just the beginning. We will say like, yes, of course, look at it. This just cause and effect. No myths, no
So clear.
no mythology, no stories that are fantastical, no hocus pocus. Just can see nature. What else do we bring, my dear family? Thank you, Marcel.
Thank you. Thank you.
It brings me a lot of peace as well because it clears
No,
up,
no, ya voy a llorar, no voy a llorar, señores.
it clears up some confusion I had about what's actually happening with the mind before and afterwards, and what's the potential of it, and regarding of karma and actions, and how the rebirth or the Patanjali and yeah, the connections of all this process and the potential that we carry on. If we understand this in a deeper level, it clears up the idea of injustice in the world, because
Mhm,
we
of
are
course.
just dealing with our fruits.
That's
Yes,
called kamasaka, understanding. This is a
Yes.
kind of wisdom,
This is-
understanding
this is
that
very
everybody
important.
is owner of their own karma.
I am owner of my own karma, heir, like heredero of my own karma. Abide by my karma,
Mhm.
and we will receive the fruits of my karma, and other people too. That's why the only thing we can do is, even to our family, our children, to inspire them as much as possible, celebrate when they are doing good, and be able to tell them, no, this is gonna cause you existential problems, not just problems in this world. So yes, it is kind of a responsibility and a relief, and I mean, if this is happening to all of us, it's that's what our teachers are looking for us to understand what is happening, responsibility we have, and the freedom that arises with responsibility. When a child depends on the parents, the mama, can I go to this, come to the movies, do you give me? The mama can say no, but when the children is responsible, mama, I have already for the movies. I tell you, I'm going to the movies. It's okay. And the mama can say, yes, I cannot stop you. So responsibility give us freedom in any level. Very, very beautiful. Thank you. Who else, my dear family? Very beautiful. Your sharings is like, today you made our day. We made our day. What else? What else? Someone else who wish? We close. Thank you so much. Thank you, Fer, Lupita, Nancy. We close for today.
Thank you.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Sincerely, my dear family, thank you for all of this. We take responsibility of the way we are doing things. We hope it is in the best. It's certainly with the best intention, but we still carry a lot of ignorance and negativity. So we hope it is coming in a nice way, and we continue growing. We're responsible from our side. We appreciate our teachers for having explained all these details very patiently through years of sessions, and we remember them, especially Sadhu Kamsachara, which is the one who has given us the most, and Sadhu Tajaniya, and how to apply it. So it is unpayable debt, and we will continue. And as they say, we will continue life to life. May we continue with this interest and study, and the final fruit of liberation comes to fruition. With that intention in mind, we recite Idano Punyam Nibbanasa Pacheyo Hotu. Idano Punyam Nibbanasa Pacheyo Hotu. Idano Punyam Nibbanasa Pacheyo Hotu. With the intention that our actions and the fruits of these seeds that we're planting be beneficial to all beings, especially those who suffer more than us, especially those in the four realms under us, animals and hell beings and cittas, asuras. May by our own actions they be helped to be liberated, we recite Idano punyam sabasatanam pajimam. Idano punyam sabasatanam pajimam. Idano punyam sabasatanam pajimam. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Through the goodness that arises from my practice, may my spiritual teachers and guides of great virtue, our mother, our father, and our relatives, the sun and the moon and all virtuous leaders of the world, may those who are friendly, indifferent or hostile, may all beings receive the blessings of our life, may they soon attain the truthful bliss and realize the deathless, through the goodness that arises from our practice, and through this act of sharing, may all desires and attachments quickly cease, and all harmful states of mind, until we realize Nibbana in every kind of birth. May we have an upright mind, with mindfulness and wisdom, austerity and vigor. May the forces of illusion not take hold, nor weaken our resolve. The Buddha is my excellent refuge, and surpassed is the protection of the Dhamma. The solitary Buddha is my noble Lord, the Sangha is my supreme support. Through the supreme power of all these, may darkness and delusion be dispelled. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.